Hey, everybody. We are live. And today, if you're watching this in the replay, make sure you hang out because I'm going to have a special guest, Henrik Olsen from Tech Drone Media. And we're going to be talking about the Mavic Mini 2 that was just announced last night. And if it is the right drone for you to get, if you have a drone already or if you don't have a drone, this could hopefully help you out in that decision. If you are here live, thanks for joining with me live. I will be looking at the chat. Henrik will be joining us just shortly. While we wait for more people to show up, I'm going to play you an unboxing video of the Flymore version of the Mavic Mini 2, or as they're now calling it, just the Mini 2. They've dropped the Mavic from the name. So as we wait for more people to join, I'm going to play this. I'll chat with you guys in the chat. And if you're watching this on the replay and you don't want to see the unboxing, just skip ahead about 5 minutes and we'll pick it up from there. So I'm going to join you guys in the chat. Let's go ahead and watch this unboxing. And I'll take my face off.
Look at that. There's different pictures on each side of the box. Let's see. This is the nice carrying bag. Let's take this one out. This is definitely a different approach than what we saw with the previous model. So, what do we have here? The Mini 2. Nothing like the smell of new electronics. So what else we have in here? We have the remote. Many of you said that I was completely off and DJI would never do this, release a remote, release the Mavic Air remote with the Mini, but they actually turned out that they did. And it's a really, really nice remote. Definitely a nice remote. Have the mount here. You have the sticks here nicely tucked away down here. Let's just try and mount those just for the sake of it. So, very nice. You'll be very happy with this remote. Let's see what else we have in here. We have some boxes here. I guess those are the batteries. Accessories. There is a charging brick, and this one is localized for Denmark. We have the connection cables that will connect your phone to the remote. And as I can see right now, we have USB-C and we have micro USB. And I would probably assume that already in here, there is the one that is designed for iPhone.
All right, guys. So instead of letting the video just play, I thought I'd bring Henrik and I into the chat or back into the video right now and let Henrik just talk over himself maybe. Henrik, you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I hear you great. I hear you really well.
So yeah, so this was the Mavic Mini or the Mavic Mini remote, which is similar to the Mavic Air 2. And this is basically what you get in the box. You get the drone, you get the remote, you get a nice bag, you get a charging brick, you get the hub, the charging hub with that can host 3 batteries. And I think that's more or less it. Maybe a screwdriver and some extra props. This is basically what you're getting. And some might say that it's a lot of money from the standalone version to the Flymore combo, that you are paying $150 extra for 2 extra batteries, a bag, and the charging cradle. So,
is it 150 extra or is it 100 extra?
Yeah, I think it's I think it is 150 extra, isn't it? What did you pay for yours? You bought the standalone or the standard version?
Yeah, it was what was it, 349? Was it 349 or four? No, it was 450, I think.
Yeah, 450, and it's 600 or 599 for the fly mode.
Yeah. And for me, I chose not to go with the Fly More because I have a bajillion bags already, and I have well, I don't really feel I need the extra batteries because I have so many other drones that if I want to go out and just have a good day flying, like, and I know, oh, I'm going to just go fly with a bunch of guys, I'm probably not going to bring my Mini with me. I've bought that basically for special occasions, if that makes any sense. Special, maybe travel where I don't need but 30 minutes flight times. That's a lot of flight time.
It is a lot of flight time.
Let me answer this question in the chat real quick. Lexi asked about the Mavic Air. Oh, he's talking about the original Mavic Air. Okay. My assumption was he was talking about the Mavic Air 2. The Mavic Air 2 is a great drone. The Mavic Air 1 is a great drone. Although now, if you can avoid a Wi-Fi drone for most things, I would definitely suggest doing it. The Mavic Air 1 is a Wi-Fi drone, and you will have some connection issues because of that. It is an awesome drone. I do miss the way it was made. It looks cooler to me still than the Mavic Air 2. However, the Mavic Air 2 is a little bit more functional, I guess you could say.
You're having the same camera. The camera is identical from the original Mavic Air to the Mavic Air 2. Even the bitrate is identical.
Well, speaking of cameras, that's something that they did upgrade in the Mini 2. Is you don't hear a lot of people talking about it. You hear, 4K, but you know me, Henrik, I don't use 4K almost ever. I mean, sometimes, but very rarely. The sensors, not the sensors, but the 100 megabit speed is the big thing that I'm noticing in the Mini 2 versus the Mini 1.
It's 2.5 times what it is on the original one, so it's a big difference.
Yeah, that's a thing. That's a feature in a camera that people overlook. And that's huge. That actually can make the picture look so much better than just going up to 4K.
Of course, they had to increase it, going from 2.7K at 40 to 4K. So of course they had to increase it to some degree, but it's nice that they have increased it that much. It's that should give an improvement of the overall image quality. But that's something we need to somehow test out at some point.
Well, because if you think about it, like the original Mavic Pro, you remember that's when we met. We met back when you did the animated original Mavic Pro video. Still one of my favorite videos you've ever made, by the way. And that's a 4K camera, right?
That is.
And the picture of the Mini looks much better. The picture of the Mavic Air looks much better than the original Mavic.
It does.
And they're a much cheaper drone. So that sensor size, as well as, what is it? It's the 100. Is it 100? What am I thinking of here, Henrik? You're more techie than I am. It's the 100 megabytes.
The sensor size is 12 megapixel.
Okay, but what is the video? It's 100 megabytes per second or something like that. For
that's the bit rate.
The bit rate. That's what I was thinking. That's the name I was thinking of.
Yeah, so it's megabit per second, not megabyte, but megabit.
Okay, megabit per second. Now that I've found is actually the huge thing that you got to look at, like because again, we look at the original Mavic Pro versus the Mavic Air or the Mavic Mini 2, and it's got a much higher megabit per second. The bit rate is much higher on the new ones, and so it makes the picture that much nicer, even though they're both 4K.
Yes.
Hello, everybody in the chat. We see Sunrise Media in the chat. Coast to Coast Drones is in the chat. We got Bill and Lone Star UV, Tim Jackson, and quite a few Alexi, and quite a few other people starting to jump in now. And we appreciate you coming here. So if you have questions and you have not bought a Mini 2, I did buy mine last night. I've been paying attention to it for weeks. Leaks that have been popping up even before people found them at Best Buy. There's been things I couldn't talk about because I happen to know a couple of people that have them, and they are, in my opinion, a pretty solid product. I don't typically just buy a product to buy products to review on the channel here. As you guys probably know, if you've been subscribed for a while, I buy stuff that I'm actually going to use in my day-to-day, which is why I never bought the original Mini, even though it would have been a huge boost for my channel. I can ask Henrik. He bought one of them and has really, really locked down and specified a lot of his content around it.
I told you to get one.
Yeah, you did tell me to get one. You did. You said that it would help my channel a lot, and you were right. Because we were still not that far apart, even when you got the Mini 1. And It's changed everything. Like, really, that's something I tell people. Don't do what I do. Do what I say if you're trying to grow a YouTube channel. Don't do what I do, because I know everything about it. I really do. You can ask Henrik. Henrik and I completely obsess over the back end of YouTube, and that's one of the things we get along so well about. And to grow YouTube, and if you want to grow your subscriber base, the smaller you narrow down your niche, the faster you will get subscribers. Because if somebody's watching a video on the Mavic Mini and they go to your channel and you have nothing but snowboard content and maybe a Skydio video and then maybe a GoPro video, and then they're not going to subscribe. They might watch another video and then take off, but they're usually not going to subscribe. But if they're looking for something to learn Mavic Mini stuff and they go to your channel and there's like 2 rows of all nothing but Mavic Mini or more, they're going to hit subscribe and then probably come back and watch more, because they're going to expect you to do more videos on that content. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you get this enormous watch time because of that. We found between Henrik and I that the watch time really still doesn't get affected. It really only affects your subscriber base if you're going to be all over the place. But, you know, I'm getting off topic. I see Chris Hope has joined us. AZ Drone Dudes in the chat. I hope you guys are all doing well. Old Fart with the GoPros in the chat. That's a great name. I love that. Copper State Aerial Photography. If I've missed anybody, my apologies. I try to skim through the chat. You know, if they're highlighted, you can either tag my name or Henrik's name, and we'll be able to see that you tagged us in the chat. Otherwise, you can always throw a super chat, because that highlights things too. But anyways, we're really hoping that you guys ask us a lot of questions about the Mavic Mini. We want to make this video that we're talking to you guys in the chat. That's what's really this is supposed to be about. And Henrik does have one, so we want to pick his brain.
You just add the top-down camera. So
let's. Here we go. Boom! Look at that. See, there's his right there.
And it's funny because I did a live stream earlier today, and people were saying, you're so lucky that you got the drone for free. And I actually didn't get it for free. I actually had to go out and pay for it myself. So I can tell you whatever that I want about this drone, whatever that you want to know about this drone.
Yeah, you know, one of the things I liked in the video that you showed already is that the arms don't twist the same as the original.
Yeah, it's very stiff.
So it doesn't feel as much like a little cheap toy then, I assume.
No, it does not. I have the original here, so we can just do a comparison. So this is the original one. And look at that.
Oh my gosh, let me make that bigger so people can see that. Yeah. So if you've never had the Mavic Mini, so the plastic is very flexible.
Very flexible. And this is the new one. You see, I can't. It's the drone that's twists. So
yeah, that's a huge difference.
Yeah, also the props, they are pretty flimsy on the original one.
Yeah, let me make it bigger.
Much stiffer design. They feel a lot stiffer.
I wonder why they went with orange on the tips.
I don't know, because it's different props. So I guess
people can color them apart. Put them side by side. Is the gray the same exact shade of gray, or is it a different shade of gray? The two drones.
Let me just put it up. It looks
like it might be a tiny bit darker.
It's a tiny bit darker, yeah, it is. It's more, the old one is more gray.
Huh. Okay. So they did. It's surprising they didn't
exactly the same size.
Yeah. So your new one will fit in the old bag.
Yeah, it will. But apart from the remote, that's the problem. You can't fit the remote in there. So the new one, of course, that fits into the bag. No problem in that. Or into the old casing here.
So we have a question here from Eagle Eye Ariel. He's asking, when will it be available on the smart controller? And that's something that none of us actually know yet. But we do think that they will make it available on the smart controller, because it's using the same controller as the Mavic Air 2. Yes. I mean, and when I say the same, it is the same controller.
What I've heard is that the smart controller will be supported, but the DJI goggles will also be supported.
Well, if they're going to make the DJI goggles supported, you would think that they make those supported on the Air 2 as well then.
Yes. But for some reason, it's lagging behind. That's as far as I know, the SDK that will allow third parties to access the drone is not been made available yet. And that has been there for, I don't know, for the last couple of months for the Mini. I've been doing tons of videos of the Litchi app that adds different functionality to the drone, and that uses the SDK. Yeah.
Now, do you have your scale handy, Henrik? So you can put it on your scale and we can do the top down, because we got someone asking about the weight. JS Enterprises asked that it was 239 grams. I thought it was 238 grams with the battery in it. but I
It
could
is.
be mistaken. Let me make that bigger so we can see.
It is 238. At least it was last night when I waited.
See if it lost weight or gained weight overnight. Add some snacks in the middle of the night there.
So 238. It's the same.
Yeah, so we can't see it on the camera. Why is it not picking it up?
I don't know.
Pick it up and hold it up closer to the camera there.
Maybe I can do that.
Maybe angle it.
And it's gaining weight. I can't do that.
Okay, no. I believe you. It's 238. So there you go, JS Enterprises there.
238. And then for the reference, let's put the old one on here. So that's 247 ish, 248. So it's around. So this one is actually, the new one is actually 10 grams lighter.
That's pretty crazy. I wonder how they lost so much weight between the two.
I know that. That is because of this.
The battery is different.
The battery is a lot different. Now I can't get it out. So the battery is a lot different, and it actually feels a lot lighter. And
so here's the question for you: when you put the old battery into the new one, what's the weight?
That is above 250 grams because I did that yesterday in the video that I put out. So that's 257. So if you're doing that, you are basically just for the sake of it. Let's just start the drone so you can see that it actually works with the Mini 1 battery. I'm having the time of my life of this.
Oh, yeah. I saw that. You like the new? It's like you got an echo. It's like it's echoing itself, and now everything is just one after another.
So you can see that it works with the Mini 1 battery, and but you will exceed the weight. And another thing that you will experience is that you get a 0.5 volt of drop on the battery because it's only 7.2, where the other one is 7.7.
So then I guess that would also take it from being a level 5 for wind, like they're claiming up to 22 miles per hour, back down to maybe a 10 or 15 mile per hour wind.
Yeah, it will.
Because that has been, like you say, the cow farts in the original Mavic Mini is gone. I'm sure a lot of my subscribers have seen, and you've probably seen it too, when Ed Ricker and Kelly and I all went up in the snow blizzard, and we tried to launch it.
That was a crazy clip.
It was just gone, instantly gone. And I've had people ask me if I'm going to try to redo that video this winter with the Mavic Mini 2. And you know what? I think I will. I think I will take the Mavic Mini 2 up there and try to recreate that and see on a windy blizzard day if I can fly it.
There was a question about the weight difference of the batteries because I just sensed they are different weights. So let's just try it out and see how much they weigh. So the new one, the LiPo 2S, that's 80 grams. And it's almost 100 grams, so that's 20 grams difference of
just on the battery, yeah.
Just on the battery alone.
So, what about weighing the drones without batteries in them? What's the difference there?
We can also try that. That's an interesting experiment. So that's 159 grams for the new one, and the old one is the scale ran out of battery.
No.
Oh no, that's a bad tip, really bad.
No, right? No, we're so close.
No, so I can't do that.
Oh no.
But just a subjective opinion here is it feels a little bit more heavy.
The new one.
The new one.
Well, that would make sense because the batteries are supposed to be a little big, or not the batteries. I'm sorry, the motors are supposed to be a little bigger.
Yeah.
Which would make sense, like JSK Enterprise says, the motors are a little bigger, so you get the more power, but they knocked off the weight of the battery to equal it out. And Jenna C says it's the COVID diet, which is the complete opposite of what happened to me over the beginning of COVID, which was the COVID get the belly. I got the inner tube going on. Although I've been working.
For me, it's also working opposite.
Yeah. Although now that we are back in motion, everything, I've been losing it. I'm getting in shape. I'm going to be approaching 50 in another, 2.5 years. So I figured I better get in shape now before I hit 50 because it's going to just get harder and harder.
Yeah, that's probably true.
And now Skip asked, wouldn't the lack of sensors make this less of a beginner-friendly drone than the Mavic Air 2 in the long run? And I wouldn't say yes to that, because honestly, you start to crutch on those sensors. The only thing the sensors really come in handy for is if you're using automated flying stuff like the quick shots. Like, I do sort of wish that it had stuff for the quick shots. And even then, a lot of the quick shots are doing spins and spirals and things that the Air 2 doesn't have a sensor to help you even stop it.
I almost crashed my original Mavic Air in doing like a helix, because there were no side sensors. So if you want a sensor that is completely beginner friendly, you should buy a Skydio 2.
Yeah. Now, if you were definitely, if you're needing something that's sensor heavy to not hit stuff, and you're wanting to do more tracking, then the Skydio 2 is just hands down. It cannot be beat. It's incredible. Now, flying it with the controller, it is still really fun. However, you are limited to the distance away you can fly because of the Wi-Fi connection. Which, you know, that's something I do have to give DJI props for. Is their Wi-Fi connection on the original Mini was really good. It was much better. It was much better than the Air 1.
I don't know. I had some troubles with it, but I also have a CE drone where the broadcasting power is significantly less than.
Now, let me ask you a question. You see the little flashy light on the front. From what I've been seeing, it's just it's exactly that. It's just a flashy light you can change the color to.
Yeah, it is. I don't know
so where in the app do you go to change the color?
Yeah, you can just to add on the top-down camera, so you can see here.
Mm-hmm.
So you go under control, and then you have these two lines. You can define how it should work. Let's just see.
So it can be solid on all the time instead of blinking?
You can disable it. You can do rainbow. You can do breathing, or you can do solid.
So it's just for looks.
It's just for looks. But I can't. There's a software bug here, so even if I change it here, it doesn't change when I go out.
Yeah.
So
it is weird that they threw that in there just for looks, because they could have shaved off even more weight if they didn't skip that in there.
Yeah, right? Maybe they could have added a few sensors.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, because you think about it, if they would have taken out those front screens, because from what I understand, those front screens are actually functional front screens. They're holes now with a screen instead of stickers.
They are vending holes. So
yeah. If they would have taken out those screens and the vent holes, right, and that light, they could have put in probably 2 sensors and still been underweight with the amount of weight that they've shaved off. Yeah. I mean, it would have been pretty awesome if they had just 2 front sensors. I would have been pretty happy about that.
See if we can do this. I don't know if that is possible. You can see the light through the vending. No, not possible.
Oh, so you there in person, you can see through those vents and see the light coming through. Vents, yes. Like, I mean, that's for looks, because it's not like it needs to be vented right there. So even though they did it, it's still not really functional. It's just for looks. It does look cool, but I mean, to have...
I don't know, it's open in the back. If you look behind the gimbal, it's actually open in there. So I think it will, I don't know. You could easily get the air through the big hole around the gimbal. So it's...
right. That's what I was thinking. When you're flying in forward motion, there's a big gap under that whole gimbal. Isn't that enough air?
It should be. And
you guys in the chat and watching, we only have about 23 watching right now. Make sure that you comment if you're interested in anything about the Mavic 2 or Mavic. God, there's so many Mavics. I'll stop saying Mavic. The Mini 2 that Henrik has there. He's had some time with it. He's known a lot of stuff and made quite a few videos about the Mini 2. So if you are getting one, I definitely recommend subscribing to his channel. That's Tech Drone Media. Henrik, if you want to throw a link in the chat, you can do that. So if you're watching this on the replay, you can go and look at the live chat, and there'll be a link to his channel there. Or just Tech Drone Media in the search bar. And you, whoever, 2 thumbs down, really, because we're talking about going and watching. People, if you don't like drones, get off the damn channel. What you come here for in the first place? You think we're going to talk about Twinkies or something? People, you never can understand the people on the YouTubes.
So there's a playlist for the, so you need to enable it, I guess, for it to be visible.
Where did you post it?
I can send it to you on the chat here instead.
Are you posting it on the private chat or the regular one with everybody? Or to the Facebook? You posted it to the Facebook.
I can try the private chat here. This one.
Okay. You can post it in the regular chat if you want to.
Yeah, I tried, but it was rejected.
Oh, you must not be a post anything in the regular chat. I thought you were a moderator.
No, I'm not allowed to be a moderator.
You're not allowed to be a moderator.
No, I'm also not allowed to get drones for free from DJI.
Oh man, I think it's hilarious when people think that we get free stuff all the time. And even if you do get something like this, like one of these Mavic Minis or whatever, somebody gives you one. What is it? $450, $500, $600.
Yeah.
The amount of work that you go into making the videos is worth way more than $500. Like if a company hits me up, the only way that I will ever actually say yes to making a video about their product is if one, I was about to buy it anyways, and two, I get complete freedom to do whatever the hell I want, or just mention it. Like if you guys had watched my last video I did, I think you saw it, Henrik, where I'm shaving backwards and putting the hair back on my face.
Yeah.
This company wanted me to do a razor. Hunk Up is the name of the company. And I honestly was like, I don't know, but I could use a new razor. I'm not going to make you a video unless you send me like $1,000 with the razor, like a standalone video. And they were like, no, that's fine. Just use it in a video and maybe mention it if you like it. And I used it. I liked it. So I put it in the video.
Yeah.
Just a little shout out.
How it's supposed to be.
And hey, Mel, there you are. Hello. Nice to see you on here, man. It's good you made it. And hello, Freddie, to you as well. And William, hello to you. When is it in Europe? That's a good question for you, Henrik, because I have no idea.
It's 8:30.
I don't think he meant what time. I think when is the drone available? Is it available in Europe now?
It is available now. Yeah. It was basically made available at the same time as it was in US. That's why Europe got a different date than US, because it was sort of crossing midnight. So it was basically announced here around 2 a.m. in the morning, and then it was ready up for sale when the shops were opening.
And what is the cost in Europe? Is it pretty comparable to if you do the translations to the cost that is in America?
I know what the price is. That is 4,690 Danish kroner. So let's just see what that translates into. US dollars, just so it's around. It's quite quite a lot more expensive. It's actually $721 US dollars.
Huh, that's crazy. Wonder why. Let me say hi to Mel real quick and answer his question. I did not go pick one up this morning. 2 reasons, Mel. One, I actually had about $100 in DJI credit, so I used those credits to save a little money. And then 2, there's not a Best Buy or anything like that close to me that would probably have one in stock. I'd have to drive about an hour and a half one way to pick it up and an hour and a half back. And I am so busy with my work lately that I'm so limited on extra time. So I did not have time to do that. So I just ordered one, saved myself $100. And that's what happens when you guys do use links, like in someone's video, like my video today, like you'll notice in this, there's a link to buy this product and it brings you to the actual DJI website. Now, if you buy that product, sadly, they don't give you a discount. I wish they did. I wish I could get like a 5-10% off even if you used it, just to says like a thanks for using my link. But what happens is it gives me a credit to buy something from DJI. I don't remember what the percentage is. It's pretty small. It's taken me over a year to get $100 in credit from all the videos I do. So I don't make much money for all the work we do, but that's why I did that, Mel. I figured I might as well use it because it was sitting there. Genesee is saying she's already fans of Henrik's, which is great. I can never pronounce your name, but I've known this guy forever. Spilito. Can you say that? How do you pronounce his name? I feel like an idiot right now. Spilitus? I've known him since the old forum groups from a long time ago. It's just like when the old drones were the Blade Chroma and stuff. So we've chatted here and there about drones for years now. If I'm not mistaken, he's out in New York.
It's super cool when you have people that follow the journey.
Yeah. Old fart with the GoPro. You have the Air 2. Is it worth buying the Mini 2? Now, that's a question that I just answered for myself. I don't know if you saw the video I did saying why, 10 reasons why I'm going to go ahead and get the Mini 2. Now, I skipped the Mini 1 because I didn't want a Wi-Fi drone. I'm okay with the Skydio being a Wi-Fi drone because 90% of the time when I use the Skydio, it's for tracking. 10% of the time I'm using the controller and just having a blast with it. But for the Mini 2, it really depends. For me, it came down to I wanted to take some chances with a camera type drone that maybe I would lose it in a river. We all know how I'm pretty good at losing things in water. Or in the mountains. Like in that video, you saw that clip of I'm going up this mountain and just peeking over the top. If something had happened and I crashed up at the top of the mountain, that was it. I would never climb that thing and get it back. There's no way. It would be gone forever. So I'd rather lose one that was cost me, well, with the DJI credit, it cost me like $350, than lose one that cost me, well, with the whole Mavic Fly More kit, which is what I got for the Air 2, it was like $900 or so, or $999 or something like that. So that's why I decided to get it, because it has the same OcuSync signal that the Air 2 has, and I can bring it and do it in environments that I can just be a little less cautious about. And when I say less cautious, that doesn't mean stupid. Okay, that just means I can put it in situations where if I lose it, it's just hurting me out, like my pocketbook, not someone else. So hopefully that helps you decide. Here's a good question for you, Henrik. How far away can you see the light on the front? How bright is it? Can you actually see it while you're flying, or is it just a gimmick?
Oh, it's just a gimmick.
Okay, that's good to know.
You know, I'm 50, so I can't see anything. And I refuse to wear glasses.
I'm just wearing them so I can read everybody's comments, no problem.
So anything beyond 50 meters, that's kind of
it's crazy though. Like for me, I can see everything now without them. The writing is just a little fuzzy. So I've been considering getting some that have the non-reflective coating on them for live streams. So you guys don't just see my computer reflecting back the whole time as I move around.
It's like I'm missing the manual focus button sometimes. It's getting a little bit blurry out there. So it's like text, and I can see the silhouette of the drone, no problem in that, but I can't see details when I get out to a certain distance.
Yeah, see, for me, it's backwards. Like the further away I go, the easier it is to see it.
Yeah.
So I don't need glasses when driving or anything else, but for doing computer work or tattooing or drawing, I'm now having to wear little magnifiers. But let's see. Let's get back in here and answer. Save your money, Mel says. The Air 2 is 10 times the craft. Yes, and if you don't need a disposable or throwaway cheaper drone, then Mel is 100% right. The Air 2 it's a great drone. It's really, really nice. And if you have one already, it's a downgrade in some ways to get the Air 2.
I actually agree. And also that's the advice that I give to people when they ask if they should upgrade. I'm saying that if they have the money, they should buy the Air 2 because they're getting all the bells and whistles with that. Yeah. They're getting a bigger sensor. They're getting the 48 megapixel picture capabilities and all sorts of stuff.
HDR mode in video. I use that crazy.
Yeah. So you're getting so much more with that drone. So the reason why I'm so keen on the minis are because they cater for sort of the audience that I have on my channel, which is mainly newcomers or people that are just entering the hobby. So I think those are pretty solid. These drones are pretty good thing to start with. And I would actually go as far as saying that if you're just entering the hobby, maybe you should look out for a good deal on the Mini 1 because those are getting pretty cheap right now. So
I would think everybody's trying to sell theirs right now, right?
Exactly. So you could pick up one secondhand for maybe half the price of what it was originally.
So go ahead.
So that will give you a capable drone without spending too much money.
Yeah, that's a good way to get into the hobby. And if you have nothing at all and you want to get the newest and you don't want to spend as much, then the Mini 2, the connection alone, OcuSync is night and day compared to Wi-Fi. It just is. There's no questioning that. It's something that blows my mind that these other companies aren't coming up with their own version of OcuSync, or hell, even paying DJI some royalties to be able to use it. But But Sunrise Water Media says he's curious about the Mini 2 in general, but probably won't because he's going the Tiny Hawk direction. And that is actually something I've been doing more of, is the FPV stuff. I've been trying to make more time with it. And it's made me, I've come to this point, and you're gonna laugh because I say this every year I say this. I think I'm gonna start selling some of my old drones, maybe.
Yeah, right.
Because I have a lot of them. I don't have my Mavic, not Mavic, it's Mavic everywhere. I don't have my Autel Evo anymore. We all know the story behind that.
Yes,
but I do still have.
Not because you sold it.
No, I did not. I did not sell it. No, I wanted to. I could have gotten $500 for that thing.
Yes.
Oh, but I do have the original Mavic Pro, which I think I'm going to hang on to that one. I don't think I'm going to sell that one ever.
I actually regret selling mine, and I also regret selling my Mavic Air.
Now I have the Mavic Air. I've been tempted to sell it, but I want to make a video like 5 things the original Mavic Air does that you cannot do with the new Mavic Air 2. I just haven't had time. I also have 2 Skydios sitting back here that I haven't had time to do a comparison video yet, because I don't need both of them. So once I compare them, one of them I'm gonna let go. And if you still want it by then we'll continue.
I can probably buy it when we get to that point. I'll probably buy it in Europe.
Maybe. I'm trying. Oh, it's so hard, because when you have certain videos you want to make, but then there's certain videos you have to make because it's time sensitive. Yeah. You have to put the ones that you want to make a little bit further back, and the Skydio one is somewhat time sensitive, but it can wait just a little bit longer still. Now that we're getting into snowboard season, it might be cool to take them both and actually see how they both do tracking and snowboarding. Good to see you on here, Peter. Let me just scroll the chat real quick. See if I'm getting behind a little bit.
My VLOS is 50 meters.
What's that?
My VLOS is 50 meters. Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, if you see something in the chat that I missed, let me know and I'll highlight it for everybody.
Yeah.
Has anyone done a Mavic Air 2 versus the Mini 2? I do plan to do that. That's probably going to be one of the first videos, second videos I do. Or maybe I should do that one first, because I was going to take it. You know how I took the Air 2 and I went out over the lake, and I went really far over the lake, and I had a few spotters watching for me.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that with the Air 2, or not the Air 2. I'm sorry, the Mini 2. But maybe I should do something else just in case I lose it on day 1 in the lake. That would suck to my first video, go out and just lose it in the lake. That would be my luck. But I am going to make that video.
That's a little bit how I felt when I plugged in the USB cable, USB-C cable in the back of the drone and hooked it up to a power bank just to see if I could charge it this way.
Yeah.
So, and you actually can. You can charge through the USB-C connector.
Yeah, USB-C. I assumed you could, because USB-C is input and output, so it should be able to charge.
It's much stronger connection.
And
better connection.
I do have a good. I think for the controller, we have a Spilitus, and again, type out your name so that I can actually. Oh, he did right above me. Spilitus, Spiliutus. That does not roll off my tongue. Oh, okay. Anyways, the Air 2 controller and the Mini 2 have the same controller. Can you use one with the other and rebind it? If so,
you can.
DJI has.
You can.
DJI's made it so you can bind it?
Yes, you can just see it. This software update. With this software update, you can.
You can use it for either drone.
Yes. That it's not very clear.
Oh, that's huge, because now I can shove the Mini 2 in with my Air 2 bag, because I take all my charging wires out, right? Yes. So there's lots of extra space in my bag. So one bag, I can have both the drones and the one controller, because the battery lasts plenty long in that controller.
So it says added support for the DJI RC-N1 remote controller. The DJI RC-N1 controller can be used with the DJI Mini 2 as well as the Mavic Air 2. Requires the DJI Fly App 120. So I'm pretty sure I know the answer to that question.
That is a video I'll have to make. I'll have to make a video showing people how that's doable. That's huge to me. Most people might not think that, but that's huge to me.
Do you have the Air 2 remote close by?
I do. You want me to grab it?
Try and pull it up. I just want to see something. because I think they changed a few things.
And I know I'm getting a little behind on the chat right now, so just bear with me. If there's a question that I'm missing, ask it a couple times and I'll see it. Okay, so yeah, I think the Mini 2 would fit right there. So this is it's going to probably be blurry, but there you go.
So the button layout, everything is the same. They put on 2 stripes on this one, indicating that it can also be a pause button.
Okay.
One thing that is, I think your lights are not green. They're white.
Yeah, mine are white.
Yeah, these are green.
Okay, that's different.
And that's different. What on the back?
On the
there
back,
should be
I have a vent thing.
rocker. The rocker.
On the top. Yeah.
Yeah, and the shutter button on the other side. Yeah.
I wish they had another wheel on this side. If they had another wheel on this side, I would have sold my Zoom already. My Mavic Zoom.
I love the idea of having the phone on top again. It's much more convenient. But what is a little bit annoying is that all the side buttons on the phone, there's really no good way to place it without the remote pressing the buttons.
I haven't had a problem with it pressing any of my buttons yet.
Maybe they fixed that actually by doing.
If you recall, when we first
they have a slit here, so maybe that's intended for not pressing those.
Yeah, it's probably also depends on the case you have on your phone or the phone you have at all. What I do like is you can use your case on these. It's big enough for a case. Like I can just slap this in here.
By the way, I'm going to pre-order the iPhone 12 Pro Max tomorrow.
Are you? I've decided I'm not going to get this model of iPhone. I'm going to wait. I'm going to stick with the Galaxy one more year. But this, if you recall, when they first announced this controller,
you hated it.
I did. I hadn't touched it yet, but just from the visuals of it, because I liked how portable the Mini, especially the Air 1 was. And that was one of the things I was like, that sucks, because a lot of the times I do go hiking and I'll just put the drone in one pocket in my cargo pants, and then I'll put the controller in another, no big deal. Now, this still fits in my cargo pants. It doesn't fit so great in jeans, but the feel of this controller, right? When the Air 2 came out, if you recall, you couldn't change any of your adjustments. You couldn't change your yaw or any of that, or your gimbal pitch. But it changed when you switched it to sports mode, regular mode, and tripod mode. It manually would change into presets. And I found that the presets that DJI had were pretty damn good. And I was able to, even in sports mode, fly this thing so smoothly just because of the spring tension and the way they had it set up. It just worked really well. So I've actually become a pretty big fan of that controller. And I'm man enough to say I was wrong. I was completely wrong.
2 things. One thing is, how often have you mounted in the previous design? How often have you mounted your phone just to figure out that you haven't pulled out the sticks?
Oh, I've never done that, to be honest.
You never have? I'm not doing that all the time.
But I could see someone doing that.
I'm so busy setting up stuff, lapel microphones and all that stuff, and then I put in the phone, and then oh no! So I'm really happy about this design where they put the sticks on the base.
This is one of the designs that I thought was going to suck. I thought, those are going to fall out all the time, and they do not. Like it really works well. You do have to poke in the little skinny side first, because if you poke it in the fat side first, it doesn't really go. You can see it doesn't want to go in.
Can you add the top camera?
Yeah. There we go. You want it centered, or you want it bigger?
I want to show you something which is new. See if we can get focus here somehow. I just want to show you, if you go under control, you scroll down here and take advanced gimbal settings. You talked about settings. So right now you have like a section for each mode with parameters. So you can set those individually from each flight mode. So you can set the pitch speed and smoothness for the 3 flight modes. And you can also reduce or soften up the yaw motion of the drone.
Yeah, and you can do that with the Air 2 now as well. You couldn't when you first got it. Now, before I jump back into the chat, I want to get into the chat and answer some questions for people. But
sure.
I want to jump ahead. I saw John Coopy is in the chat, and he mentioned, do you think, let me get us back so they can see us. Do you think that you'll have to rebind the remote to each drone all the time? And what he means is, like, I've been recently just binding in the FPV stuff I've been learning on the Tiny Hawks. I've now bound that cheapy remote to 3 drones, and I don't have to rebind it. They constantly will work with that remote, which is different than what I assumed you're going to have to do with this. My assumption is you would probably have to rebind this per each drone. It will only work on that drone. I cannot confirm that yet. When I get the Mini 2, I'll try binding this to it or vice versa and see if it works for both. Because if it's a one-time shot like I've done with the FPV stuff, then that's pretty damn awesome. That means my second controller, I could just throw it on eBay or something. I wouldn't even need it.
I would eventually hope to get the smart controller. I think I would need that at some point.
I'm waiting. There's going to be a second one. We all know there's a second one. It's just a matter of when. But there's a reason I'm waiting for it, Henrik, and it's because after switching back to having my phone on top, I sort of want to wait until they make the smart controller have the video on top. And I assume with this, that's probably what the next smart controller will have.
Could be. And then they need to lower it. It needs to be half price.
Yeah, right? Yeah, what is it, $800 or something? It's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
Now, on the smart controller, let's ask the people in chat who owns a smart controller, can you bind that to multiple drones at the same time and not have to switch back and forth? Because if you can do that with the smart controller, then maybe we can do that with this.
But that's an interesting thought.
Yeah. All right, so let's go into the chat here. And where was it? Peter asked if I ever got my camera back. I assume you're talking about the GoPro that the river came up and took out while I was making my nature videos, which is a channel it's very hard to run more than one channel, and I apologize for not making more nature videos on the nature channel. My health is back, and I do plan to start doing more of those videos soon now that I can get out and hike again and do things. Mel had to take off. I'm sure he's already gone, but thank you for jumping in, Mel. We always appreciate to see you. And I see the comment now about your visual line of sight is only 50 meters. All right, Daniel got one at Best Buy last night. They only had two in stock. Crazy. Nice. And he took it. He's going to go take it out on the San Diego coast this afternoon. That is nice. An East update stirware. East to update. Easy to update. The firmware. Okay, little typo there. That's I figured it out. Sometimes we read between the lines. Nice, yeah. The firmware on DJI is usually pretty easy to update.
It is. It's pretty straightforward.
Here, I think we covered this earlier, but let's just quickly say again, we were talking about the goggles being able to be used on the Mini 2, which makes us think, yes, probably around the same time they make them usable on the Mini 2, they'll be usable probably on the Air 2 is my assumption. It would be insane for them to make them usable on the Mini 2 and not the Air 2.
Yeah, that's correct.
So let's see. Lexi asks, can you answer me another question? Which is better, Mavic drone for photo, the Mavic Mini 2 or the Mavic Air? For photo, well, they both do RAW mode, so
it doesn't matter. The sensor is bigger. The quad bired filter technology on the Air 2. It's a superior drone. The Air 2 is superior in terms of photos.
Okay, no doubt. There you go. Now you cannot zoom in photos on the Air 2. You can in video, which is you can't smoothly zoom while you're flying because of the combination of buttons you have to do. You can't like pan your gimbal, zoom, and fly the thing because you got to hit the function button to do it smoothly. Yeah. So doing it smoothly is almost pointless on the Air 2. You need the actual Mavic Zoom if you want to do zoomed photos. And the zoom on the Mavic 2 versus the Air 2 is 100 times better. Like you don't get nearly as fuzzy and pixelated on the zoom as you do the Air 2.
I can zoom too.
Yes, the Air 2 can zoom, but not in photos, right?
No.
Only in video, right?
Only in video, yeah.
Yeah. Looks like he's selling his Mini 1 for $400. Is that what you're selling? All right. Hit him up if you guys are looking for a Mini 1. And I just got completely lost in the chat.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. Sometimes it resets and then you need to scroll up and figure out where you were.
That's what just happened, yeah.
That's why.
Okay, here's a good question. Have you been able to fly it in sports mode yet?
I've not been able to fly much today, so
Okay,
it's
bad
the
weather.
weather has been really bad. I hope I get a rebound tomorrow, so I can do some. I really want to do like a first flight video where I just spin and kick some
Yeah,
tires and fly
yeah,
around and test out all the features.
yeah. One of those nice
Um,
hangout videos.
yeah. So that's sort of what I plan to do tomorrow. And it was such a shame because today it was actually quite windy. So it was ideal to do like a wind test comparing the two drones, how they keep up with the wind. It was blowing like 16 meters per second or something like that, if I at least gusts at that magnitude. And that would be nice to test that run out. But when I
Yeah,
was at the parking lot trying pulling out the drones, it started to rain. So so I had to abandon that plan. But I did make another video. I did make a complete walkthrough of the app with all the new functionality, and I'll be after this stream start to edit that. So hopefully that will be up either later tonight, my time, or at earliest or at latest tomorrow when I wake up.
nice. And again, if you guys aren't following Tech Drone Media, do check the. I'll add it to the chat again here. I think that's not it. Nope, that's not it. I don't have your. Let me find your page and I will add it to the chat. Or if somebody there wants to add it to the chat, that would be awesome, and I'll approve it if you're not a moderator
It's
already.
easy. I'm called Tech Drone Media all over the place. So no matter where you look up, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, anywhere, it's
There
Tech
you go.
Drone Media.
All right, real quick, I'm going to jump ahead. I see Mikey's in the chat. Philly Drone Life. He has a Mini 2 also, I think. So is another person you can go check out if you're looking for someone with a Mini 2 and more information. That dude's got some serious energy. If you think I'm energetic, he makes me look like I'm asleep. So real quick, I got to make sure we get caught up. I want to try not to miss any of you guys, your comments. Does the camera move when flying in sports mode like the Air 2 did before an update? That we're not able to test yet. I'll definitely let you know when I get mine. That is always annoying in most drones. That's always seems to be a problem in sports mode. You'll notice that the camera will kick around a little bit.
The Mavic 2 Pro, that's really bad in that regard
Yeah.
because the camera is so heavy.
Yeah,
So,
I bet. And that's part of it is just because of the pitch and the angle. Once you're
yeah.
pitched to a certain amount, it just changes the way the camera works. Johnny Drone Flyer says he just flew his Mini 2 for the first time. That's awesome. It's pretty impressive little drone for what it is. Freddie says Karma. I'm assuming it's the GoPro Karma you're talking about, but maybe Karma for something else. I don't know. But yep, not sure. Had a lot of spotters. Yes, always spotters. Lexi asks whether Wi-Fi on the Mavic Air depends on which country you're in. That is true.
That is true.
Looks like JSK Enterprises says you can use the same controller. You did a video on it, but can you answer the question we had then? Can you link the controller once and then be able to fly both drones without ever having to relink your controller? That's the question we want to know. Yeah, John, that's what we were just saying. I'm way behind on the chat. So if you're watching this on replay, it's probably not behind to you because you're seeing the writing and us talking about it. But to the people in the chat live, my apologies. Sometimes we get on a tangent, we'll start going off, and then I realize how far behind we get on the chat. And yeah, that's pretty cool. I think that's a pretty big deal. I agree with you, John. He's still trying to sell his Mini 1. Hit him up. Now, John, I actually bought the a standalone Mini 1. Well, it's the kit. It came with a controller. I didn't buy the whole Flymore, but I am signed up to get the little new Mini 1, little cool little case that you can put it in to charge because I thought that would look sort of cool. Maybe put some LED lights in it, put it in the back over here behind me. I'm hoping it does multi-bind, John. That would be great. And there we are. Now I'm down to Mikey's comments. Sorry I didn't see you earlier, Mikey. You've been sitting there for almost 10 minutes waiting for me to say hi back. So my apologies, man. God, I'm so behind. I'm just really quickly skimming these. John, I haven't heard an answer for that yet. Now you can do that, Philly. You can do that with you can bind your controller, like I was saying, with the FPV drone. And I want to try this when I get a little better at it. Is I'm going to set up 2 FPV drones and have them on and see if I can control them both at the same time. Dog, stop it. And see if I can at least make them sort of work in unison with one controller. That would be amazing. Hello, Robert. He is on both our channels, and he's saying hi to both of us.
Hey. I'm just trying to scout the chat here as well. That's why I'm not looking at you. I might actually should have placed my webcam on the other side.
Well, this is actually an interesting. Here, we can do this. No, yeah, it looks like you're looking at me.
Right.
So I need to be looking this way. So if I sit over here,
how did you do that?
Oh, magic, my friend.
No, StreamYard.
On StreamYard, you can actually grab the windows and just drag them around.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
So
I learned that's actually a good point. Look at this, and this is actually a really good point JS Key Enterprise makes. Is you know how you just turn this on and you turn it on the drone and they bind.
Yeah.
It would make sense that it will just auto do that. So that would be something. I will definitely try that. Let's see. Okay. He says, sorry, he's late. Did we get the Mini 2? Henrik has it right there. Look, I'll add to the stream. Boom. There it is. There's his drone. We'll put it over here on this side of him there. And that is the Mini 2. So he has already made a bunch of videos about it. If you missed it, Robert, check it out. He's already posted a couple to his page, and he'll be posting more very soon. So keep watching his channel for more. And I did order mine last night. I assume it'll be at least a few days to a week before it gets here. I don't know. We'll see how on top of the shipping DJI is this time. If Johnny flew his on a lakeside this morning, it's probably worth just keeping the Mini 2 transmitter and not selling it for resale value later. Yeah, it's possible. I don't know what I'm going to do. We'll see. Yes, I see you, Mikey.
I know what you want to do.
I want to sell them all, but
yes.
I don't. It's when you're not like it's hard, man. I'm at a point where I don't have to sell them to buy the next one.
What, you have like 6 drones now or something?
Not counting FPV.
Yeah, including
FPV. Let's see.
Maybe.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay.
I think 9. Yeah, I think around 9. And that's not even mini. Some of you guys out there have way more than that. I know that. He says the zoom works good on the Mini. Now, the zoom works great on the Air 2. However, in comparison to the Zoom drone, they're not even comparable. You get actually optical zoom and not just digital zoom on the real Zoom drone, and that's huge. Let's see what else. Peter Hughes, good to see you, and sorry you had to go, but we'll catch you later. I appreciate you stopping by. I can read typonies. That's great. Man, I am really behind if that's where we're at right now. Hello, Kai. Appreciate you joining us. Thanks, Sean. Help Tech Drone. Love your accent. He must get all the women. He's married, so he doesn't have that opportunity anymore.
No.
Well, this is no, I'm not sure I understand this question John's asking. What do we do when the Mini is not CO marked?
Yeah, that's an important question for the European audience, because this is what it's supposed to have. It should be C0 marked to comply with the local EU laws. But I talked to my contact that knows the legislation pretty well, and he says that it's going to be chaos and anarchy for the next couple of months, because it's not really hammered in stone how this is about to go down. So it was supposed to be labeled with C0 because the drone is below 250 grams, but this labeling is nowhere to be found on the drone.
Okay. I wish the government would stop butting their nose into so much stuff. Like, it's not like there's all this stuff that's really happening with drones that's making it hard for people or damaging people's things.
And also one thing that I want to add with this legislation is that they actually killed. This is the old one that is considered, in at least here locally, like a micro drone because it's below 250 grams. But that's only one of the conditions. The other condition is that it should fly slower than 50 kilometers per hour, kph. And they increased the top speed of this one, so it exceeds that limit. So this is basically not a micro drone anymore.
Huh. So what they made it for all of a sudden is already
So
screwed.
even though it has the weight, it flies too fast. But they could fix that by making a firmware that is when it detects it's in Europe, that it keeps the top speed below.
Couldn't you just turn it in tripod mode and then you'd be not breaking any laws?
This is not how it works.
Even though, so I mean, that's like having to put a limiter on your car. I mean, there's a speed limit there, but your cars can go over the speed limit, right?
Yeah. But we had the same trouble with the electric unicycles. They also changed the legislation that from being able to maximum ride 21 kilometers an hour, what is that, 15 miles per hour? They changed that to that the wheel was not capable of riding beyond that speed. And
So
that
that's so
sort of
stupid.
destroyed it completely. That turned every single wheel that is at least have a decent quality completely
illegal.
useless.
Yeah. That's stupid. That's the same as cars, right? Why not think of it instead of doing that? Why not say, hey, this is a revenue source. Now we can catch somebody doing something they're not supposed to do, and we can make some money off of them.
They do the same with mopeds here.
Mopeds are limited.
They're also capped at a certain speed. They're not allowed to go faster than that.
That sucks.
But they can't go faster than that because then they're illegal.
Yeah, that's crazy. Lone Star says that you can't control 2 FPV quads on one controller at the same time. It's sort of a bummer. I was actually looking forward to trying that. Okay.
Oh, I guess the drone that you turn on first, when they pair, they have sort of like an interlock. So even though you turn on another drone, then it can't break that connection. That would make sense.
That does make sense. It would have been fun to have two and just to see what happens. But I guess you could come up with some kind of connection that connected over your sticks, maybe, right? And you had you get the second controller and have that connection, and then just fly them in the middle, right?
And like a mirror mode.
That would be a hell of a video right there. Philly says he loves your channel, and Bob asked if you can use the batteries. Swap them out. We went over that earlier. Yes, you can use the batteries from the first drone into the second one. I don't think you can use the second drone batteries into the first one. If I'm not mistaken, they're a different shape.
Yes.
And let me see if Henrik could probably show us that. Let me make his top-down view bigger there, and look at your batteries there.
We are back to one of the games from kindergarten. You have a round shape there. You have a square shape here, and that won't fit.
And that answers that question.
But they made it so it worked the other way around.
Yeah, let's see. And it will fly. It will power up and start and everything. So it's just you won't have as much power in the motors though, Bob. So like it won't, the new wind level that it's at, it won't be quite as good in the wind.
Let's just try. I showed you that we could turn it on.
Yeah, let me set this back on there.
So this is the old battery in here. Oh.
That's the Mini 2. You can see the orange props right there.
And the Mini 2 and the old battery in here. So let's just see if it gets connected. So now there's, yes.
You're going to take off in front of your computer. Now go up. Go up.
No.
Go up. You can do it. Oh, you could have just gone up and right back down. That would have been funny.
No,
all right.
Historically, my Mini is actually when it lifts off the old one, it actually backs away. So I'm kind of reluctant to do it.
What? My original Air would do that on occasion, and I'd almost hit myself because of that. Like it would just randomly do it. Mr. Steve asked, how's it going with the FPV stuff? I've made 2 videos about FPV, my experiences. I have the Tiny Hawk S. I have the Tiny Hawk Freestyle, which is so much easier to fly now for me outside than the other one. People telling me that I'm learning quick for the few amount of times I've had to fly. I'm now in acro mode with the Freestyle, and I'll use angle mode with the Tiny Hawk 2, but I've only had a couple of times to really try them. So it's going to be a slow learning process for me, but it's clicking. It's starting to click. It reminds me of flying old RC airplanes.
I watched your video where you were fooling around around the shed, and I was actually pretty impressed
Yeah.
by the end. It's
Yeah, I was on the ankle mode. I have no problem with them now, but the acro mode, I still will overcorrect. And am I planning on buying a bigger and better one? I would like to. I've been looking at one. Oh, what is it called? It's I think it's Flymoo or Flywoo or something like that. It's a long distance FPV drone, so it's not quite meant to do all the acro stuff and the flips and all that stuff. But for where I live, like I would like to be able to fly farther, like a mile out.
I have heard many good things about iFlight. This iFlight Nashville 5. I saw
I think
Captain
that's the
doing
Flywoo iFlight. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah. It's because it's trimmed right out of the box, because as you noticed, I have a history of building my own RC equipment.
Yes.
I've done that many times. So I
I've
know.
Did you ever fly airplanes, Henrik?
Yeah, I built a few airplanes as well.
Yeah.
I was not a big
process.
I was not that big a fan of that. I was building tricopters mostly. So you basically have 3 props and then the tail that sort of tilts. You put a servo on there, so that sort of tilts the back motor. So that I was pretty fond of that construction. But as you also noticed, messing around with Betaflight, it takes a ton of time to get all the parameters trimmed and all that stuff before you actually get to the end goal of flying it. And maybe you will enjoy that process, but I ended up not enjoying it because it was I was spending more time adjusting parameters than actually filming stuff or doing what I was supposed to do.
Well, I used to race RC cars, and when you got more into the race scene, you were buying kits, and they were just tons of tiny parts, and you had to build the whole thing. Nitro engines, you'd have to learn to tune them and work with glow plugs, and it was a blast. But I've always hated the building part. Prior to me being a tattoo artist, I actually worked at Compact Computers on the assembly line, and I built computers. And my job on the assembly line was to solder and fix all the little microchips that were soldered crooked, right? So I did a lot of soldering. And then when I got into the tattoo world, you have to solder all the needles together to make them. They didn't pre-make them like they do now. So I did many years of soldering, and so I'm over it. I will give you one bit of advice. Do not buy Compact Computers. I work the assembly line. I can tell you there's plenty of times at that 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. shift that I had that we let stuff slide through. It's not crooked enough. Don't worry about it. Send it on through. Yeah. So, but I'm not looking to get into the building aspect of the FPV stuff. I don't care about that part. I might want to customize it a little bit, but nowadays, luckily, more and more companies are making things pre-built, and you just have to bind if you already have a controller, or you can buy the whole setup together. And with the whole setup together, they should work right out of the box, which is nice. With the bind and fly, that's what I had with the Tiny Hawk Freestyle. It was a bind and fly, and thinking you can just bind it to the controller and fly it, you'd be like, oh, it should work, right? No, I bind it. Nothing, right? You could see the lights flickering like it was binded. I had to go into Betaflight and learn Betaflight enough to be able to go, oh, it's got my right stick, not just my right stick and left stick flipped, but it's got everything in completely different spots. And this switch is not activated right. It was bound to the controller, but nothing was in the right spot to be able to make it work. So that took me all night to figure that out. And now that it's bound, it's done, John says here that in Norway, there's a requirement for liability insurance under 250 grams, like the Mini as well. It'll be exactly the same as a bird statement. And you can always just buy a custom-made one from someone, and some people just build quads. And that's true. Great point. There are people that you can actually have build you a quad, and you just pay for it. To build the stuff yourself, you need to have a space for the tools. You need to have the space to solder. You need to have a space to make a mess. And as you probably know yourself, Henrik, being where I'm at in this ski resort, property is incredibly expensive. So to buy a house you're living in a pretty small house. This room looks big. And when I got people that came to Spin Down, a couple of them came over and I showed them this room, and they're like, "Holy crap, you're in a closet!" You know, it's just the way that it's blurred out in the back. Like I can almost touch my lava lamps. Like they're way against the wall. That's almost all the way across.
Yeah, welcome to Europe.
Yes, how are you? Oh, I don't know, man. So when we first met, well, actually, I was in a small house when we first met, but the house before that, before I started getting super serious on YouTube, if I had that house now, oh my God, I'd have a huge room I could turn into a studio. It was a 3-car garage, and now I'm in this little 1,000 square foot home with a single car garage. So it is what it is. I live in a beautiful area. I go outside, and that's my out. That makes it worth it. Yes, that's what I was thinking. The long distance quad, that Flywoo or whatever, I think you can get up to 30 minutes flight time with it. And I don't know what the range, how far I can go on it is, but that's my thoughts. Is I don't need necessarily crazy sharp fast flips. Some loops would be cool, or some nice crazy swooping banks. That would be nice. But that's probably, if I stick with FPV, that's where I'll go. I'm not going to spend more money on it now. I know you've got some FPV stuff coming, don't you?
I haven't said yes yet.
You haven't said yes?
No.
Tell them to send it to me. I'll say yes. I would love to have those DJI goggles to try the FPV. Why are you not? What's the question? Are they wanting something crazy from it?
No. They basically just asked for 2 videos. So I don't know.
I'll make you the 2 videos, Henrik. You can post them on your channel.
Yeah, let's see that.
I'll make you 4 videos. Just you post them. I'll even fake an accent. But yeah, that's actually, if you decide you don't want them, say yes, and I'll make you the 2 videos, and you post them on your channel. I won't even post them on my channel. Yeah. Okay, I would totally be down for that.
I've got to see what I'm gonna do. I will try to see if I can trade them up so they send me a full kit. Yeah. So including the quad, because that's where it gets complicated. If I need to start sourcing parts, I don't want to get back into that.
No, I feel you. But if they send you a full kit and you don't want to do it, I stand strong. I will make you the videos, and it'll be much faster than the Skydio videos. It'll be right that day. I'll quit work for the day and just make them. All right, guys. I think lips. Oh, that would be hilarious. We should try to do that sometime. That happened to me once. I lost my audio on a live stream, and it was Kelly, and I can't remember who was with Kelly, but Kelly from Ready Set Drone was with me, and so I just started talking like this, moving my mouth, and he started trying to just talk for me. It was hilarious.
He's such a nice guy, Kelly.
Yeah, he's a super nice guy. This whole community is so nice. Like, there's a lot of nice people, very helpful people in this community. That's one of the things I like about it. And the nice thing for me, like you guys know, like I don't do a lot of videos with more expensive cameras. Like this is a Canon T7i that I'm using that you're watching this out of. And I still film with it on occasion. I use it for my live stream camera. Like I don't make videos with it as often as I used to.
It's an expensive live stream camera setup.
It is, but I used it all the time for stuff. And I will use it for like table videos like this, but I don't want to break it and do all these like skateboard videos or snowboard videos with that. So I've really been using the GoPros and the 360 cameras and sharing that experiences with everyone instead.
Yeah.
Real quick before we wrap this up, we got a question here. This guy's thinking of getting the Mini 2, but he doesn't think he'll be able to sell his Mini 1 for very much. What do you guys think the Mini 1 would sell for right now? Anybody notice what they're selling for? I know a lot of people probably trying to sell them.
Yeah.
But my guess is it's, at least $100 less than maybe 150 less than the Mini 2 is probably selling for. And I do say thank you very much, Mr. Steve. He bought his Mavic 2 Zoom thanks to one of my videos. So that's pretty cool. And I appreciate that, man. That's part of the reason we do some of this stuff is, one, I enjoy editing and making videos. And 2, if I've already got the stuff, why not share it? And if it helps somebody make a decision, cool. If it doesn't, and I get a thumbs down, cool, whatever. We've got 3 thumbs down on this video. Like, you bastards, I don't know what your problem is, but it's a live video. Did we not mention your name in the chat? Did your chat go by and I didn't I didn't mention your name, so you got butt hurt and hit thumbs down. I don't understand. Why do you get a thumbs down in a live stream, right? If you don't want to be in the live stream, leave. If you're watching in the replay and you got this far in it, then you're dedicated. Thumbs up, double thumbs up if you made it this far in the replay. That's impressive. But yeah, so in other words, if you're watching, whoa, we just got a couple of thumbs up. So if you're watching and you want to help counter those thumbs down, go ahead and click the thumbs up button for us right now. And if you are watching and are not subscribed to Tech Drone Media, make sure you, when we wrap this up, you click in the search bar up there, Tech Drone Media, and you will see his logo, which is a little flag with a drone in it, if I'm not mistaken, right? Can't miss him.
It's a combination of a lot of stuff, but it's a red, white Danish flag in the background.
All right. I want to thank Henrik a ton for joining me for this. I know he's been just going crazy since he got the Mini 2, and it's getting pretty late over there in his time right now. I've got to start getting ready for work, so we're going to wrap this up. If you guys have any other questions, get them in really quick, and we're going to be out of here within 5 minutes or so, if not less. Let's see. Selling the Mini for 200 pounds with Indie filters in a bag. I have no idea what that translates to in US coin, so I'm not sure if that would be a good deal or not. But yeah, if you can get it, man. Sell it and get what you got to get. Get the one that makes you happy. You only live once.
Brian Turner, he says, I might sell it for 200 pounds with Indie filters and back, I guess. Keep on to the Indie filters because they actually compatible with the Mini 2. So the same filters that you bought for the Mini 1 can be used for the Mini 2.
Excellent point. I'm glad you said that. Because they don't come with they don't come with filters in the Fly More on the Mini 2, do they?
No. I had this kit from Freewell.
Okay.
So it's
so the Mini 1 didn't come with filters either.
No.
Okay, because the Air 2 does come with filters.
Yeah, they do. But
which I've never even opened yet. I'm that guy. I just don't want the extra work. That's why I don't want to build FPV drones. Here's a good question. Is it allowed to fly drones on a ski site? No, technically it is not. It's be flying over people. I can't even imagine on a crowded run someone trying to fly a drone. I guess if you snuck off in the backcountry areas of the ski resort and no one was around, you could probably pull it off. Maybe the Skydio might make a trip like that, and I just won't tell you where it's at, because that would be dope to try to fly through like some of the bowls and stuff on the ski resorts. Because that's the problem is like when you're hiking with the Skydio, when you're hiking with the Skydio and you're trying to get a shot, and you've just hiked like 2 or 3 hours to ride down for like 5 minutes, you don't want to do that twice to be able to get another shot. You got one shot at the video, one shot. So thank you. I appreciate you hanging out for the whole live stream, JSK Enterprise. Thank you so much. Where to buy a drone online? There is a link in this actual description or in the live chat or in the chat underneath or the comments. Hey, stop scratching the door, dog. You can actually click to go to the DJI store and buy one there. And it helps the channel. So there we go. Sunrise Media shared your page. Yeah. Awesome.
That's super.
Why do I have so many things? GoPro 360, Mavic, Evo, Canon. I would like it all. I guess that's what I spend my extra money on. That's why, that and saving for a house. Those are the two things I do. I don't go to bars. I don't drink liquor. I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't waste it on a bunch of expensive food. Only on occasion. You got to treat yourself on food on occasion, though. I'm a strong believer. Every once in a while, you got to go out and just spend some money on some good food. But I don't blow my money on anything else. Skateboards. But yeah, I don't go buying crazy, fancy, expensive cars. My house isn't. I live within my means, which gives me money to be able to do this kind of stuff. So hopefully that answers your question. Let's see, anything else? Drone Shots just joined us. Hi, good to see you. We're about to end up the chat or the live stream. Hopefully we got some great questions answered for you guys in the chat here and in the people that are watching this afterwards about the Mini 2. If you have questions, go back and watch it. Henrik has answered a ton of really good questions with his, and he's doing more and more videos on his channel. So definitely check out his channel if you're into the Mini 1 or the Mini 2.
You could maybe add the playlist link to the description. after the stream is ended.
Yeah, if you have a Mini 2 link, that's a good idea. I can do that. So if you made it this far and you're looking, you can. I'll have links. I'll add them to Henrik's channel in the description as well.
Because I will be expanding that list over the next few weeks with a lot of exciting stuff.
And I do think you could use the Mini 2 for real estate. I think you could use an iPhone for real estate, to be honest. Cameras have gotten so damn good on at such a low price that so many of us have them. You know, I mean, you could use an iPhone for making a full movie. People say, oh, I can't start YouTube because I don't have GoPros. I don't have this. If you got a phone, and most of you do, you can start a YouTube channel. You don't need anything besides that nowadays. But I appreciate Henrik so much for coming and joining this last hour. Well, just over an hour now. And I appreciate you guys who have joined us in the live stream. As always, we couldn't do this without your feedback, without you watching the videos. Both of us, I mean, it just hands down. You guys make this. Sorry, I'm laughing because I just caught Drone Shot's video comment. Did anyone get Mini shitty? And no one got Mini shitty. It's been a great stream. No one got out of line today at all. So that's great. I appreciate everyone again for coming. And as we said, we can't do this stuff without you. Every time you guys watch a video and you stay through the whole video, every time you click thumbs up, every time you leave a comment, it actually helps our channels immensely. I cannot stress that enough. It really does. Even if you start watching a video and you want to help support us and you don't want to finish the video, put it on mute and let it play in the background, because that actually helps versus leaving the video early.
Watch time is king.
Yeah, it really does. And the more that we're able to do this stuff, the more we grow, the more contacts we make, the more we're able to make off of this, which repeats the cycle. The more we're able to do it. And that's the thing. We enjoy doing it, and you have to get to this point in this level on YouTube. You have to enjoy doing it because you're doing it for free for so long. I like to be pretty transparent. Usually I make an extra $200 a month off of YouTube. Some months I might make up to $500. As I grow, hopefully that will grow. But for now, it's a lot of work. You guys don't even know the amount of hours I put into making videos for $200. It's insane.
But that's not why we do it.
No, it's not. I do it because I love it. And why don't I have a Patreon? I do, but I don't use it. I've thought about making it, but my full-time job is my studio. And until my studio is running with other employees, I have to put most of my time into that. And that's what prevents me from making the Skydio video that I've been putting off. You have to priorities. It's all about priorities. You got to live first, right? So again, thank you. Yeah, affiliates are in the description. Anybody who clicks and uses any of those, that helps the channel as well. Affiliates, just so you don't know, it's just a link to buying something on Amazon or DJI. Exact same price you would get it anywhere else. It just gives us a tiny little kickback. So the more people use them, the more tiny little kickbacks add up, and it helps us buy more equipment to be able to make more videos. So thanks everyone for watching. Henrik, do you have anything you want to add about the Mini 2 before we go?
Nope. Just get out flying, regardless if you have Mini 1, Mini 2. Get out flying. Hone your basic skills. Either drone will do the job, and just have fun.
Yes, that's the biggest one. Just have fun. I think we'll get into it with that, right? Yeah.